The VA hospital horror stories continue. We're talking lost prescriptions, employees with drug problems, and issues with medical audits. And lawmakers say those are just a few examples of the lack of oversight at our local VA hospital. And Denver 7 reporter Lance Hernandez is at the hospital right now. Lance, I know you've been covering this for years now, and you attended a rare congressional hearing to discuss the issues today.
And Congressman Mike Coffman chairs the subcommittee on oversight and investigations. He says the VA has a very lax system, but of course the VA says it does not.
There seems to be a culture within the Veterans Administration where nobody responsible is ever held accountable for their actions.
Representative Mike Coffman says a recent audit found that 16 of the 27 medications checked didn't balance with hospital records. He asked why an employee who was found shooting up with narcotics on the job wasn't fired.
How is it that somebody who's responsible for these drugs, these narcotics, was abusing them themselves inside the facility and not fired?
It's going to depend on the circumstances.
The hospital director told me she can't talk about a specific case, but did say if someone was caught doing something, they have due process rights.
They have union rights if they're bargaining unit, and they will certainly have legal rights. So those are the things we take into consideration when we're doing the fact findings.
Kaufman also asked about mailroom employees with drug-related convictions who have access to prescription medication. He says that raises questions about background checks.
It's my understanding that the individuals in the mailroom were actually contract employees. We since now have incorporated a system where the contract employees, in our mailroom in particular, are required to satisfy the same background checks as our actual employees.
Now, I asked Kaufman if he thinks his hearing will make any kind of a difference. He said he doesn't think that it will. He says you have to verify everything the VA says. VA spokespeople told me that they have a very strict system in place in terms of dealing with drugs. They say that there's always room for improvement, but that the vast majority of people who work here work very hard to take care of veterans. Live at the VA Medical Center, Lance Hernandez, Denver 7.